I've read the comments, I've heard the community. The community wants me to test out the batteries once more. This time though, for all 3 of our devices, we're going to take drastic measures. We're going to try to save as much battery as possible, by any means necessary. We're back at it again, this time with yet another battery test, but this time with an even more apples to apples comparison. Last time we tested battery life, everything was at the maximum resolution, maximum brightness, maximum volume, maximum refresh rate, maximum everything, except for game graphic details. Why did we do it this way? Well, it's simple really. The manufacturers put in these higher refresh rate, higher resolution displays on these handheld devices, and they proudly display it as a selling point, so I figured, why not share the consequences of these major selling points? If you've got the time, you should check out that previous battery video. The tests will be the same as they were before, but this time we're going to add 2 additional games as well. Also worth mentioning is that in a strange twist of fate, Lenovo sent me a Legion Go after I made a couple of videos on it, so now I have 2 Legion Go's. The Legion Go I reviewed was the one I bought from Best Buy. This second Legion Go will be the Legion Go where everything is turned down. The resolution, the refresh rate, and that's about it really. As for the Legion Go I've been using, I'm just going to keep that the same, and I'm going to keep that as the control. And I'm going to mention these recently got an update, so I applied the latest updates. As for both the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck is the LCD Steam Deck. I don't have an OLED Steam Deck, not yet anyways. For the prior video, I did not undervolt the Steam Deck, but this time I am. And to keep things fair for the ROG Ally, I also reduced the resolution and reduced the refresh rate. Because the Steam Deck's TDP can only go up to 15 watts, that is the maximum I will ever use for these tests. Where appropriate though, I will use the device's lower level presets. The ROG Ally features a silent mode, which is 10 watts, and the Legion Go features a quiet mode, which is also 10 watts. And yes, the lowest I will ever lower the Steam Deck is 10 watts, just to make things more fair. Also for the Control Legion Go that's running at maximum resolution, maximum refresh rate, and maximum everything, it's just gonna stand 15 watt TDP. It's the Control, right? Yes, you can even take these devices lower than 10 watts if so desired, but for simplicity's sake, I won't. So now we've got 4 devices to compare. So let me get this out of the way first. I'm not going to do an idling test. What's the point of having a device idle just draining battery for no reason? It's pointless, it's stupid. Like legitimately, if you're not going to use the device, why not just put it in sleep mode? Or better yet, if you're not going to use it, why not just turn the device off? So let's start off with the first test. Once again, it's Serial Experiments Lane, Episode 1. Why Episode 1? Well, it's convenient. I have it right there. It's available. It was already on my devices when I tested it the first time. And you know what, if you want to watch it, you should just watch the whole thing yourself. I used VLC Media Player because that's also available on Linux as well, you know, just to even things out. All devices are using a 10 watt TDP, except for the Steam Deck, which for some reason doesn't have access to TDP settings in desktop mode. Who'd have thunk it, right? It's a 1080p Blu-ray rip. Yes, there's letterboxing, but it's not going to make a difference at all because none of these devices are OLED. Also, yes, the volume is maximized. Maximum brightness as well. So let's see who wins. I think the most interesting part here is that the Steam Deck, the reigning battery champ from last time, actually lost this one. I'm not entirely sure why this happened. The undervolt shouldn't have made it consume more power. If anything, it should have made it consume less power. And yet it went from a full charge to 0 faster than it did before. I'll have to retest that at some point, but for the time being, I am going to keep this result because, well, it happened. As for the standard Control Legion Go at 144Hz, 1600p, there have been some updates for the Legion Go, and I have updated my Legion Go fully as of the making of this video. It could explain the almost 30-minute gains. The ROG Ally didn't last as long as I expected it to. I mean, I reduced the resolution and I reduced the refresh rate, so I would have expected it to do a lot better, but it didn't. Still though, a 15-minute improvement ain't so shabby. Now let's talk about the Legion Go with its resolution turned down and the refresh rate turned down. And this one lasted a ridiculously long amount of time. 5 hours and 4.5 minutes. Seriously. It lasted even longer than the Steam Deck did last time. So yeah, turning down the refresh rate, turning down the resolution, it added about an extra hour. That's about 2.5 more episodes. But to be honest, you're better off watching anime on your phone, or, you know, if you have a TV, watch it on your TV instead. Just dock it to your TV and watch it like that. I promise you, it'll be a way better experience. When it comes to indie titles, I think Celeste is one that comes to most people's minds. And yes, Celeste is a very light title. It's r/Nintendo Switch's Le Hidden Gem, so like yeah, I will remain idle on one of the first screens of level 3, you know, the little hotel level. I will lower the TDP down to 10 watts on all devices, you know, except for of course our control. So let's get this party started. So for me, this confirms one thing. The Steam Deck losing as fast as it did during the first test of this video, it must have been some sort of fluke because my god, 6 hours of battery life playing Celeste, it's just chef's kiss. The Legion Go didn't do too shabby either, at least when set to 800p 60Hz. I did something similar with the ROG Ally, setting it to 720p 60Hz, and yet it didn't seem to do so hot playing Celeste, even at a 10 watt TDP. I couldn't tell you what it is. And as you can see there, the top Legion Go, the maximum resolution, maximum refresh rate Legion Go, died first, but it surprisingly wasn't that far behind the ROG Ally, which had its resolution and refresh rate taken down a notch. I wonder what that's all about. All I can really say is that the Steam Deck remains our true battery champion, at least for indie titles. Next up is another round of little goody two-shoes. I have progressed further in the game, but I have a safe spot in the same spot as before, so like yeah, we're gonna use that. After preliminary testing, we're gonna opt for the 10 watt TDP. The game itself doesn't really need that much power, and the game is still very playable. Last time the Steam Deck won by a landslide. Will it be the same this time? So let's begin then. It seems once again the ROG Ally is dead last when it comes to battery life, finishing at an hour 41. The Control Legion Go finishes at 2 hours and 3 minutes. I really couldn't tell you what it is. I set the ROG Ally to a lower resolution and lower refresh rate, and yet it keeps being in dead last. The first Legion Go, I didn't even change any resolutions or refresh rates, and yet it just lasts longer. We also have a second Legion Go with its resolution reduced and its refresh rate, which, you know, as you can see here, results in significant battery gains. About an hour 40 extra game time. It outlasted the Legion Go by an extra 3 minutes. And yes, lowering the TDP on the Steam Deck did help the battery life increase by a couple of minutes. That said, I could easily extend the battery life if I decide to reduce the TDP some more. So we have one additional AAA title to deal with, and this time it's a bit of an older one, Dark Souls 3. Did you know Dark Souls 3 is 7 years old at this point? It's still very much an excellent game though, so don't be discouraged just because it's not Elden Ring. I think you get the idea of what we're going for. Same location, same yada yada yada. We're just gonna leave it there until the device just sort of dies. I actually planned on having this game run at a 15 watt TDP, but surprise surprise, Dark Souls 3 runs surprisingly decently at a 10 watt TDP. That's kind of insane if you ask me. The ROG Ally died first, and then the Steam Deck followed suit. And then the control Lenovo Legion Go followed. So as you can see here, the Legion Go won. You know, the one that had the resolution and refresh rate tuned down. I am very curious as to what makes this thing tick. What makes the Lenovo Legion Go just that much more efficient when you turn down everything? I mean, I even turned down the ROG Ally stuff and it's not getting nearly as much gains as the Legion Go is. That said, the Legion Go's battery is like around 25% bigger than all of these other devices' batteries, but I don't even think that should account for this increased battery. And last but certainly not least, Cyberpunk 2077. This is a game that asks you to run it at 800p or 720p if you want to get playable frame rates. And yes, while last time I ran this at the maximum resolution, maximum refresh rate on the Legion Go, I'm not sure if you noticed or not, but the game didn't really run that well anyways. Thankfully, we have a second Legion Go. This one, of course, running at a lower resolution, lower refresh rate. So games are running at a playable frame rate this time. So let's see who wins. So the Cyberpunk results are kind of like the ones from before. In a strange twist of fate, the Steam Deck performed worse than it did before, albeit only 4 minutes less than before, so not a massive difference. The ROG Ally lasted a little longer thanks to its lower resolution and lower refresh rate than before. The Control Legion Go lasted 2 hours and 2 minutes, which isn't too shabby considering it was at maximum resolution, maximum refresh rate. But of course, if you reduce the resolution and the refresh rate, then you do get a longer lasting battery, though in this case 10 extra minutes. But to be fair, any improvement is an improvement. But of course, the overall results are fairly similar to the last test. Here are the final results. All winners have been highlighted in red, as you can see here. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what happened in the video playback test. I'm 100% certain the Steam Deck should have won there, but yet it didn't for some odd reason. The Steam Deck did win the indie test, proving to be the indie game battery champ. And this is just the LCD model. The OLED model should be even more battery efficient. The ROG Ally saw some improvements when you lowered the resolution and the refresh rate, but not as big as I thought it would be, to be honest. The biggest gains, of course, came from the Legion Go, reducing its refresh rate and resolution. So much so that in this video, the Legion Go actually won most of them. There are some things to take away from this. First and foremost, lowering the resolution and refresh rate works. Lowering TDP works. But even then, aside from all of that, some programs or some games are just massive resource hogs and will destroy your battery life no matter how much you try, like Cyberpunk 2077. Even after lowering the resolution and refresh rate of the Legion Go, I only managed to eke out an extra 10 minutes. It's really tempting for me to crown the Legion Go as the new battery champion, especially for modern AAA titles. But the thing is, the LCD Steam Deck still destroys the competition in terms of lighter titles. Not to mention, the OLED Steam Deck is about to come out. By the time this video releases, the OLED Steam Deck should be available to pre-order right now through Valve's website. And believe me, when I get my own OLED Steam Deck, trust me, I'll do another battery video. If you like this video, please press the like button and check out our other videos. And if you like those other videos as well, be sure to press the subscribe button and share the good gospel of high-tech lowlife with your friends. Furthermore, we have a community Discord for enlightened individuals such as you. And if you wish to further support high-tech lowlife, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Links in the description.